Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Scott Wolf. I'm Area Progress Council President. I'd like to welcome you to the 34th Project Excellent Teacher Recognition Banquet. So thanks for coming. Because we all have cell phones, and some of you might be using Facebook, we invite you to like and follow Project Excellence on Facebook and maybe the Area Progress Council. Take pictures, post it if you like. Help us spread the word about the amazing educators we've got in Warren County. The more likes, the better, right? As we get started, let me tell you a little bit about the Area Progress Council. It was incorporated in 1969. Our mission is to study, investigate, and promote activities to help Warren County prepare for the future. We are celebrating 52 years this year, and this continues to be our mission as we advocate for business, community, and most certainly education. Over the years, APC has assisted in bringing several projects to fruition, all focusing on the future. We are part of the formation of the Warren County Park District, the Warren County Big Brother, Big Sister program, Little Miami Inc., United Way of Warren County, the Warren County Career Center, and the annual Warren County Economic Outlook Breakfast. If you've never done that, please attend. It's a great event. We created the Warren County Community College, and then 2 years later chose Sinclair Community College to serve Warren County. As you may know, Sinclair has big plans for the Courceview campus in Mason. We developed an adult leadership program, Leadership Warren County, now in its 18th year. This 10-month program is designed to educate leaders about county and regional issues, as well as enhance personal leadership skills. 2022 applications are available. Our latest endeavor was funding the Rachel A. Hutzel Observatory to house a university quality telescope at Camp Joy. The trades at the Warren County Career Center provided the skills to build the observatory. Now we must take note that the fate of our country will one day be in the hands of our children. These young minds are currently in the care of dedicated professional men and women, like you, within classrooms throughout our nation. Recognizing the important role of the classroom teacher, the business community in Warren County developed a program to identify and financially reward public educators who are exceptional in encouraging students to think and learn. The Project Excellence Endowment was conceived by the Area Progress Council's Educational Committee in 1986. $1 million in pledges were solicited from Warren County business, industry, and individuals in 1987. The first banquet like this was held in 1988. The fund remains financially strong and is currently managed by the Warren County Foundation. We plan to continue recognizing teachers far into the future. So enough about APC. Please stand while Arla's granddaughter, Brielle Storer, sings our national anthem, and then continue to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to introduce Jonathan Sams, partner with Sams Fisher LLC, to give the invocation.
I have a prayer of thanks and a prayer for blessings for you. Let's pray. Our Father God in heaven, I want to thank you for the excellent educators that we have here this evening, for the impact that they have on our children and their lives and our future as a community and as a nation. We are blessed by them, and we offer you gratitude. For these teachers and educators, I ask from you the gift of patience, because those can be long hours that they spend in the classroom. I ask for the gift of awareness so that they can see the needs and so that they can see those moments of brilliance and pull those out of their students. I ask for the gift of inspiration, the inspiration that they can give and the inspiration that they can receive from their students. I ask for the gift of knowledge upon them so that they can be aware and learn and always have the love of learning. And I ask for the gift of wisdom upon them so that they can be wise in what they do, that they can craft the lives carefully, they can grace the community and impact their students. Thank you for the food we'll eat tonight. In Christ's name, amen.
Thank you. Tonight, we gather to celebrate with 19 excellent teachers in Warren County. I want to thank those of you who came here to join with us as we recognize their excellence, one of the many good things in public education in Warren County. It's great to be here tonight in support of these dedicated educators. This evening is devoted to thank those committed individuals whose life work is to spend day after day inspiring our children and grandchildren to explore the world of learning. The earnings from the endowment have allowed us to award it a total of $535,900 distributed over 692 different educators who have been selected since 1988 through tonight. 41 of those have been selected multiple times. Tonight, each educator will receive 2 checks totaling $750. The first check is $500, is payable to the teacher to be spent in any way they wish. Stop at the gas station or a weekend away. It's their personal bonus. The second check of $250 is made out to the teacher's school district with the money to spend as the teacher designates. Perhaps a field trip, some books, paints, or pizza party, whatever they say. Also in the fall, each of these educators will be asked to go on a VIP trip to Columbus with us, where we will tour the Capitol building, meet with our locally elected state representatives, and we will also talk with the top administrative people and the policymakers at the Ohio Department of Education, who directly influence the education in Ohio. All of these meetings are structured as open dialogues, and the teachers are encouraged to ask whatever questions they may choose. And if all goes well, NFIB, which is the National Federation of Independent Business, will sponsor our lunch at the athletic club for us. This eye-opening trip is well worth the time out of the classroom. We are the only county in Ohio that arranges an adventure like this for our educators. We will also be inviting 2020 recipients to travel with us since they had to miss this opportunity last fall. And along with the packs that the teachers will receive with their checks tonight, there are a couple commendations. One is from U.S. Congressman Steve Chabot, and the other is from Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. those are for them. We're thanking them for it. Now I'd like to call on Walt Davis, our Project Excellence co-founder, who will explain the teacher recognition process.
Thank you, Bill. My name is Walt Davis, and unlike most of the presenters here tonight, my remarks are unscripted. It usually makes Arla pretty nervous because she likes to maintain control over what happens here. Actually, I did write my speech a few minutes ago at the table on the back of my name tag, so here we go. For those of you who may have noticed, I want to apologize. I forgot to take my hat off during the pledge and the national anthem. My wife glued it on for me tonight, and it's not easy. Welcome to our celebration of excellence. A lot of you are probably wondering, how did I get here? Well, it's a long process, starting way back in the late 1980s when I was Arid Progress Council president. I was challenged by the former president, George Henkel. Back at that time, there was a lot of public talk, sort of the public word out there about education was, Johnny can't read. Why can't Johnny read? And we thought, as a business organization, is there anything we can do about it? So, and we also had this sort of overwhelming desire and need, we thought, to establish a communication link between the business community and the education community, because we really lived in two separate worlds, and it was difficult to find out even how you could help without having good, strong communication links. So, in order to meet that challenge, I worked on it for about a month and came up with an idea that turns out that he liked and the board liked, and we went on from there. One of the first things that we looked at was, what actually is our performance? Is this question, a public question, why can't Johnny read, a valid question or not? And we studied our performance locally as a county and a state compared to the nation. And we found out that throughout Warren County, our teachers were generally paid less on average than the teachers across the state of Ohio. And our performance on testing and so on with the students was above average across the state of Ohio. I thought, that's interesting. And then we looked at the state of Ohio versus the nation, discovered the same thing. Ohio teachers on average were paid less than the national average, and Ohio's performance, student performance, was above the national average. So we discovered that there was more here to celebrate than maybe lament or help. So we decided that let's celebrate excellence. And being business people, our language is cash. It's how we measure our performance. It's how we communicate with each other. Our world revolves around cash. So why don't we put our money where our mouth is and make cash awards to excellent teachers? A lot of people said that's really kind of crass because teachers are not interested in money. They're interested in recognition. And so we did a quick poll and discovered that probably wasn't true, or otherwise it'd be working for nothing. And besides, cash is good, but if you add to it the concept of leverage, which business people love, it becomes even better. Leverage is where you use a small amount of something to get a bigger amount of it. And we decided that rather than raise money every year and just give it away in terms of donated copy machines, which back then were the size of Volkswagens, or scholarships for students, which was a good purpose, but touched very few, that maybe if we found a way to recognize excellence in teaching, every teacher throughout a career touches thousands of lives, thousands of student lives. And maybe that's the leverage we were looking for. So we thought, why not try to raise money for that purpose based on nothing really more than a gut feeling, although we did have a very knowledgeable consultant. The chairman of the education department at Miami University worked with us. We met every Friday morning in my office at the Beach Water Park at 6:30 every Friday morning for a year, over a year, to determine how this should work. We decided that we would invite nominations from all over the county, from all sectors, not just the education community, but also private citizens, parents, students, businesses. Whoever wanted to nominate a teacher could fill out these nomination forms. And the response was quite surprising. And we developed a set of standards and criteria, and also we established selection committees, one in each district, consisting of an Area Progress Council representative, a citizen at large, and the district superintendent. The district superintendent was not necessarily there to govern what happened, more as a veto against the rest of us making a mistake because of balloting issues or whatever. And it's worked out quite well. Over the years, we've not changed that formula at all. So when you receive your reward tonight, I hope you don't look at it as a reward for past performance. Your past performance is an indicator of who you are, but we see it, the business community sees it more as an investment on our part into the future, trying to generate more excellence from where it came from. We feel that you will remain motivated, and then you will be emulated by others who say, how did he or she do that? And maybe some of that will create more excellence. And it seems to be what's happened over the many years. We like the fact that we've had repeat winners. The consultant from Miami University said, we debated that a lot. Should it be once in a lifetime, or could the same person win it like every year? And we decided that it would be best to have it repeatable, but not every year, so that no single individual could dominate the selection process on a continuous basis. And the consultant told us, he said, true excellence, if you're finding true excellence, he said it will keep bubbling to the top. And you'll see those award winners, those selectees popping up periodically. And I think Bill said we had 40-some already, and I don't know about tonight if we have any repeat winners tonight. We announce it when two. Great, that's awesome. So anyway, one of the things that always amazes us too is that, and we like this part, teachers often choke up when they are up here. Not because they're afraid of the audience, which many are, surprisingly. We see it as poetic justice, remembering our days in school. But we ask them to not just thank a whole bunch of people in their lives, like their parents and everybody. We want to hear about their philosophy, their best day in the classroom, their worst day in the classroom, the most impactful day, whatever. And very often those are emotional stories, and choking up can happen. And there's a reason why these are here. Now, these are off limits to the guys. We kind of like it when the ladies choke up because it's on film, and when we go out to raise money and the donors see the ladies tearing up, the checkbooks come out. We don't show those films when the guys choke up, and they do. So, one other thing, a couple other things. You will notice on the program there are named awards. It doesn't mean that the award is any different in terms of the amount. What it means is that those donors, whether corporations or individuals, have donated at least $50,000 towards the foundation, So they have these awards named after them in perpetuity. And the foundation is designed to last in perpetuity. We carefully take only an amount of the proceeds of the earnings of the foundation every year to give away so that the foundation can stay healthy and grow at a slow rate. When you come up to speak, we're not all the same height, and we sure hate to miss the words of a shorter or a taller teacher, so adjust this mic so that you can speak into it. This one you have to be fairly close to in order to be heard. And also, as you're speaking, please remove your mask so we can hear you better. So with that, congratulations, and on with the show.
Thanks, Walt. Way back when, that 30-plus years ago, you and George Henkel had a pretty good idea, and Warren County community is better for it. At that time, I did not know what Project Excellence was. When I saw the first year's awards in the paper, I called my superintendent at the time and said, "What is this award?" He started to explain it and then said, "I have a meeting next week. I'll pick you up." Well, that was a Project Excellence board meeting. And as they say, the rest is history. I got hooked. Over the years of Project Excellence, there have been those teachers in Warren County who have helped my kids and my grandkids excel in their educational endeavors. My kids and grandkids are all products of the great education available in Warren County. And so I know that I have been blessed to have the kids that have the ability to have and enjoy their successes, way beyond what many of you tonight deal with on a daily basis. I also know that they can't do it all on their own, and it takes the help of people in this room that we honor tonight to allow them to overachieve. So how important are the teachers in your lives? Think about this little quiz. Name a couple winners of a Miss America competition. Or name 10 people that have been a Nobel or Pulitzer Prize winner. Or name the last 5 Heisman Trophy winners. So I got a Heisman Trophy quiz trivia question for you. What Heisman Trophy winner is a registered landscape architect? More later. Name the last decade's World Series winners. So how did you do? The point is, none of us remember the headlines of yesterday. These are not second-rate achievers. They're the best in their fields, but the applause dies. Awards tarnish, and achievements are forgotten. Accolades and certificates are buried with their owners. I know, I've thrown away some of that stuff. And there's still more. There's a stack of stuff on the shelf in the closet. So things disappear. So here's another quiz. See how you do on this one. Name someone who's taught you something worthwhile. Think of a few people in your life who have made you feel appreciated and special. Who are the teachers that aided you in your journey through school? For me, that's a lot easier. There is no doubt in my mind that it was Mr. Duffy at Woodward High School that made college calculus easy for me. And you know what? We never had any homework. And before that, it was Mrs. Broush at Pleasant Ridge School who paved the way in 7th and 8th grade math for me. Or it was Chuck Basler, manager of University Farms at Ohio State, my mentor, who showed me that I could accomplish good things outside of the classroom. The people you will never forget are not the ones with the most credentials, the most money, or the most awards. The people who make a difference in your life are the ones who care, and they will live in your memory forever. And you, the teachers we honor here tonight, the trophies will disappear, but you will remain in the memory banks of, oh, so many young people who you have assisted in their educational journey. I learned that I cannot pay back Mr. Duffy for what he did for me in math. The way I learned that was when I went off to Ohio State and moved into a fraternity house. And it dawned on me that finally figured out, if somebody hadn't done something before I was there, that wouldn't have been there for me. And I learned from a guy up there named Woody that you had to pay forward. Work to help what comes after you. So the same was true for me when my kids started school. Whether it was in the Little Miami buildings, that if somebody hadn't done something before I moved out to Warren County, it wouldn't have been there for my kids. And I can't pay back Abigail and William Woodward, who in 1931 established Woodward High School in Cincinnati, which today is the oldest public high school west of the Alleghenies. So I can't pay back, so we've got to pay forward. All of this leads me to Project Excellence today and into the future. We cannot pay back the donors who have made all this possible for us, but we can continue to pay forward. So what do our kids today have in front of them? If you want to know some of the impact and the amounts of information that's out there in this vast world, someone has a learning that has to happen, all you have to do is go to Google or YouTube and type in Shift Happens and watch some of the videos. There are all kinds that are interesting there. Some of the things like in India, 25% of the population with the highest IQ is greater than the population of the United States. India then will have more honor kids than the U.S. has kids. We cannot give up on innovation and excellence. Excellence and innovation. That's what we honor here tonight. The members of the Area Progress Council and the Project Excellence Board and the contributors to Project Excellence Endowment and the business community as a whole know that the efforts by the teachers and staff of our public school system play an integral role in shaping our students now and in school to thrive and compete and be a positive influence in the world of tomorrow. In the very near future, we know that each and every one of these students will have some type of impact on our world's economy and our way of life. The individuals we recognize tonight are making a positive impact, and we appreciate their dedication. I know I appreciate what teachers have contributed to my life, my children's lives, and the lives of my grandchildren. I witness the living proof of that in my family often. So I leave you with this. Who is on your list of those teachers who were special in your life? Tonight, we will begin with you see the list on your program that's in alphabetic order, but we don't start at the top. We rotate, and this year we will begin with the Greater Ohio Virtual School, better known as GOVS. Now I'd like to call on Project Excellence Board member Sam Lobar, and Sam will be our MC for these. And board member Ms. Bobby Grice will present the awards to the recipients. And I'll tell you the trivia answer after dinner.
Thank you, Bill. All well said. Hi, everyone. Let's silence all the cell phones and get started. As Bill stated, we begin this evening with the Greater Ohio Virtual School. Members of the selection committee were Eric Reiners, Deerfield Township Administrator and APC Representative, Sean Lenny, Superintendent, Angie Smith, Director of Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce, and citizen at large. Robert Bob Allison has been teaching for 44 years. The last 18 for the Greater Ohio Virtual School, working with mathematics students grades 7 through 12. He attended the University of Cincinnati for his BS in education, graduated magna cum laude in vocational trade and industrial education with a permanent certificate in electricity from Ohio State University. He also attended UC's Micken College of Arts and Sciences for his Master's of Arts in Mathematics and permanent certificate in mathematics. He taught mathematics at Sinclair College at night for 14 years, taught electrical trades 7 years, and mathematics for 20 years at Warren County Career Center. He is particularly proud that he wrote a course for Basic Algebra 1, the Virtual Learning Academy.
Thank you. I did not plan on teaching, but it happened. And how it happened will take me too long to share with you. And like I said, I taught at Sinclair College for 14 years, nighttime. Taught a lot at nighttime, along in the daytime school. And in the classroom, vocational, I love teaching vocational. The superintendent come around one day and asked me to teach mathematics, and I've been teaching that ever since. And then in 2003, GOVS, the Great Ohio Virtual School, started, and they hired me to teach mathematics. And I appreciate that. I thank them for that opportunity to teach in a virtual setting. Basically, that's my home. And it's different. It's not without challenges. You have a student that asks you to work a math problem, and you have a word processor to answer that. Excuse me. And not all of the symbols, math symbols is on that, but you manage. And at one time, I had a student who sent me a message in Spanish. And so I had to interpret it, which I had to interpret, write the answer and reinterpret that back to Spanish and send it. Now, that's rare, but it happened. And I'll say this for the school, for GOVS, they have a lot of helps for the students, just like I'm sure all of yours has a lot of helps. So I thank them for the opportunity. I thank Sinclair for the opportunity. Thank Warren County Career Center for the opportunity to teach. I don't think there's a better profession than teaching, and especially teaching young people. And I'll leave you with this. I love teaching.
Next is Kings Local School District. Members of the selection committee were Ben Yoder, attorney with Frost Brown Todd as the representative for APC, Tim Ackerman, superintendent, and Bobby Grice. Little Miami Chamber of Commerce served as citizen at large. Brian McDonough is the recipient of the American Financial Corporation Award. He is the band teacher for Kings Junior and Kings High Schools. He has been teaching for 9 years, all that time in the Kings District. He attended the University of Cincinnati College of Conservatory of Music with a Bachelor of Music and Music Education. He is proud of performing at the Ohio Music Education Association Professional Development Conference with the Kings High School Symphony Band in January 2020.
Hello. As he said, I'm a band director, and so music is a really important part of my life. And the subject of my speech today is about how music is like teaching. And we had a wonderful band concert last night. It was our first return to live music since the pandemic. And it had me kind of thinking about the beauty and the power and the mystique and the mystery of music and how that relates a lot to teaching. First, in that it transcends music and teaching, both transcend the concert hall or the school. They happen every single day. Started this banquet with a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and I learn new things every day from my parents and colleagues and friends, and so both are incredibly important parts of our life that happen outside of their normal spots. Another way that teaching is a lot like music is that it brings people together. Tonight, I had the pleasure of meeting my co-winner at King's, who was a member of the King's Band, along with her husband, my wife, and her principal. They were all members of the King's Band, and that's something that we share in common, and something that's great among teachers as well is when you meet someone new and you tell them they're a teacher, that means something, and finding folks that are in the profession is always a welcome thing. And the final thing that I wanted to address is teaching and music are similar because we create something beautiful and then it kind of moves on. So last night at our concert, we had wonderful music, and we shared that connection with the audience and with the students, and today it's gone. And as teachers, we build those students every single day, and then they leave our classroom and move on to the real world. And I think that's a kind of a beautiful analogy for what our profession is all about. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my wife, who helps me do everything. There's a lot of extra stuff with the band, and she takes care of our beautiful 2-year-old daughter and helps out with the house. And thank you very much, Sarah, for all of your support. Thank you, everyone.
Mrs. Emily Rower is the first grade teacher at J.F. Burns Elementary School. She has been teaching for 12 years, the last 11 in the Kings District. She received her bachelor's in early childhood education and her master's degree in educational psychology from Miami University. She is most proud of the relationship she has built in her life. That work is enjoyable but intentional. She states, from students to colleagues to family, these relationships are far and away her most valued success. Congratulations.
All right, well, as of this morning, I had prepared to tell you all about my story about becoming a teacher, but then this afternoon in my plan period, I opened up my email and it shifted my focus a little. The email was actually from a former student, a former first grader who is now a fifth grader, and it was simple and said, "Hi, Mrs. Rower, this is Jordan from first grade. I would like to congratulate you on being Teacher of the Year." And while simple, the fact that a fifth grader saw the post on the school homepage and took the time and the risk to email me was beyond meaningful. This award brings recognition in so many generous forms, including this trophy, which as someone who's not athletic or artistic, this is actually the first time I've ever won a trophy, so thank you. This really is a dream come true. Can't wait to show my brothers. But today's email really brought to light the power of that simplest recognition of all the kind messages from parents, the cards from colleagues, and then these emails from former students. So APC, thank you for this incredible honor, but thank you also for this reminder that I need to embrace these opportunities to recognize others in simple, powerful ways as well. I have certainly felt the love through this award and will be doing my very best to continue to spread it. Thank you.
Next, we have the Lebanon School District. The selection committee was Larry Hollingshead with Owl Creek Consultants as the APC representative, interim superintendent J. Robert Buskirk, and Julie McLennan, director of Lebanon Public Library, served as citizen at large. Taylor Newcomb is the recipient of the award sponsored by Fujitec America Incorporated. She teaches 3rd grade math and science at Donovan Elementary School. She has been teaching for 2 years in the Lebanon district. Her Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education, pre-K through 3rd grade, Special Education and pre-K through 3rd grade, General Education are from Bowling Green State University. She's proud that she graduated college with a 4.0 GPA, winning a President's Award as a result. Thank you and congratulations.
Hi. I am honored to be here this evening. In many ways, this year has felt like the first year of teaching for so many of us, as we have had to navigate so many new challenges this year. For me, oh, it's like a accessory to me at this point, an extension of who I am. I just don't even know that's on. Okay, thank you. For me, that's true in more ways than one. This year, about 10 days before the school year started, I was transferred to a new building and a new grade level. I went from preschool to 3rd grade, which was the biggest jump that I could have made, and I was absolutely terrified. It was a huge jump, and upon the transfer, I asked myself, how do I teach 3rd graders? How do I talk to 3rd graders? I knew how to talk to 3- and 4-year-olds, but 9-year-olds were outside of my wheelhouse. So I just went into it with an open mind. When I look back on this year, I was thinking about everything that has led me to this moment, and I honestly just think about the gift that the transfer actually was for me and the gift that all of my students have been for me. The 47 young people with whom I spend my days have taught me more than I could have ever imagined. I know that I'm their teacher, but the lessons that I learn from them every day are so inspiring. They inspire me every day with their resiliency and their ability to adapt to change. They're kind, they're encouraging, they're helpful and compassionate and considerate and inclusive. They see the world with a sense of wonder and excitement, and in a year when so much has been taken from all of us, they've taught me that there's always something to be grateful for, and there's always something to celebrate. I have been made better because of them. The way that we share our lives with each other is a gift to me. It's my favorite part of what I do. It spurs me on and encourages me to keep going every single day. So my students are my motivation. I'm incredibly grateful to be able to do what I do, and I'm honored to be able to be here this evening. Thank you.
Suzanne Taylor is the pre-AP History, AP European History, and World Geography instructor at Lebanon High School. She has been teaching for 29 years, the last 21 in the Lebanon School District. Her BS in Social Studies Education is from Miami University, and her master's for Education and Teaching and Learning is from Nova Southeastern University, Fort Lauderdale, Davie, Florida. Professionally, she is proud to see what her former students have accomplished, and personally, she is proud of her family, her husband Ryan and their 2 sons, Scott and Nick. Congratulations.
So when I first found out that I won this award, Arla told me that I could talk about why I became a teacher. So I thought, well, everybody in here knows why we became teachers. So I thought I'd discuss why I became a history teacher. So when I was a little girl, I used to love the TV show Little House on the Prairie. And I watched it religiously every week. And I remember one episode where Laura Ingalls won a fur cape and a fur hand warmer. And much to, Nellie Olson's jealousy, which we all loved. And I just loved the show. And after that particular episode, my mother said, oh, my grandmother had almost the exact same hand warmer when she was living in South Dakota, much like Laura Ingalls. And I was fascinated. And she actually went to the closet and got the hand warmer out and said this was your great-grandmother's, who, by the way, was still alive at that time. I was 5 and she was very elderly, but I knew her. And it was at that moment I realized that history and stories aren't just always from someone's imagination, that they're real. And my mother proceeded to tell me about how her grandmother lived out on the prairie and how she even had a sister who had scarlet fever and how they finally left because they got tired of the locusts and the insects. And in that moment, I thought, well, this is real. These are stories. And I became fascinated. And at first, it was just with my family's stories. And I learned as much as I could. And then I started looking around, and we had tons of books growing up. And I started reading books, and it combined my two loves, history and reading. And I still continue that to the day. So my first day of class, I always write the word history on the board, and I underline the word story. And I said, that's why we're here. We're here to hear our story. We're here to understand how our ancestors made decisions that matter to us today. And I always tell my students, congratulations, you're the winners. Your family made decisions that put you where you are today. Your family survived famine, plague, disease, all the ups and downs that life has to offer, but we're the winners. And we need to recognize that. And we need to remember those who came before us and also honor them and talk about them and what it felt like to be them. So it's about the stories. And so I read constantly, and my husband has so graciously filled our homes with numerous bookcases, which I quickly fill with all my books. And I teach 11th and 12th graders. I read out loud to them all the time. But they enjoy it. They like the stories. They like the tidbits. That's what makes it interesting. And that's what I love. I love that part of history. I love teaching, and it's a great job. I really cannot imagine doing anything else in my life. So thank you.
Next, we have the Little Miami Schools, and the members of the selection committee were Bill Thornton, Director of Leadership Warren County for APC, Superintendent Greg Power, along with Ralph Blanton, Exit Realty, who served as citizen at large. Christine Bensman is the English Language Arts and Intervention teacher for Little Miami High School. She has been teaching for 11 years, the last 4 in the Little Miami district. Her Bachelor of Science, Education, English, and Theology is from the University of Dayton. Her Master's is in Counseling and Mental Health is from Wright State University. Her Intervention Specialist licensure is from Miami University. Her greatest success is connecting with challenging or resistant learners and helping them change their narrative from I can't to I can.
So in considering how I got to be here this evening, we need to take a look at why. So I thought the obvious place to start is kindergarten, correct? So we all remember that first day of kindergarten. I call that portion of my life the panic on the carpet square years. This is before we had beautiful carpets with the ABCs on it. This is when we had carpet remnants, and you had to pick your square and sit in the circle. So the first day of kindergarten, I can clearly remember what I was wearing, the little plaid dress, the saddle shoes, sitting on the carpet square, and the teacher handed out the yellow books. Much to my dismay, everyone else in the room could read from those yellow books. I couldn't. I knew that the letters were characters. I just didn't know what the characters were. So that begins my public education. Throughout the years, I've been incredibly fortunate to have teachers who have shown me mercy and grace and compassion. I'm pretty sure those things were not part of their teacher evaluations, and I don't ever remember having a state test that asked me to plot or graph or show those qualities, but nonetheless, they were effective. I had teachers who realized that my challenges with learning were not necessarily about my academic abilities so much as my challenges. They saw me for 7 hours of the day, and they learned and realized that the other 17 maybe had something to do with why I had a tough time. I remember at the end of the 3rd grade crying the last day of school because I was going to miss Mrs. Green, and I couldn't see her for the entire summer. Her classroom is where I felt loved and valued and safe, and I had to go 3 whole months without seeing her. School became my safe haven. I sought out every club, every committee, activity, sport, marching band, music, jazz band, even the chemistry club, because Mr. Reisner was that rare combination of rigor and heart, and he listened to me. School was the place where I was told by my teachers and staff and even the custodian. They told me that you can do hard things, you have value, you have intelligence, and you have promise. So I asked myself, how can I not be a part of this for the rest of my life? Now it is my turn. I get to help write the narrative for a student who is struggling, a student that perhaps the other 17 hours of their day are not as pleasant as the 7 that they have in our buildings. I get a chance to offer and extend mercy and grace and compassion, the things that we don't test on but yet really do make a difference, for 7 hours a day, and I pray that it has an impact on the other 17. As the days become weeks and the weeks become months and the months become years, the next group of Project Excellence educators are being formed. And I hope that one day I can say to them, see, I told you, you can do hard things. You have value, you have intelligence, and you have promise. Thank you very much.
Jennifer Farlow has been teaching 16 years, all in the Little Miami system. She is the 3rd grade teacher at Salem Township Elementary. She attended the Wilmington College for her Bachelor's of Education degree, and her Master's in Curriculum Instruction and Technology is from Nova Southeastern University. And her early childhood generalist endorsement is from Ohio Dominion University. She is proud of the memories she has made with her family. Her children are strong-minded, empathetic, well-rounded, and have traveled to many beautiful places in our wonderful country, providing exciting life experiences.
Good evening. When I was in 3rd grade, initially I was struggling. I had a hard time, and we had some family things going on. So every morning I'd go into the office, and the secretaries would greet me, and my 3rd grade teacher would walk up every day, and she knew that I was having a hard time. So she would grab my hand, and she'd say, Jenny, you can do this today. You can do this. She'd grab my hand, she'd walk me down the hallway, and she would constantly encourage me. Once we got in the classroom, she provided me with a sense of safety, security, and love. And from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be able to instill that same safety, security, love in every student that I taught. I wanted them to know that even in the darkest moments, in your hardest times in life, that anything is possible and that you can accomplish great things. I want to thank the council for this award, and I want to thank Little Miami for their continued support. Thank you so much.
Next is Mason City Schools. and the selection committee consisted of APC Representative Ken Natorp, Chairman of the William A. Natorp Corporation, Superintendent Jonathan Cooper, and Mike Gagan, Lebanon Minuteman Press, served as citizen at large. The Mitsubishi Electric Manufacturing of Cincinnati Incorporated Award is presented to Dan Broderick, the 9th grade World History and Honors World History at Mason High School. All of his 10-year career has been with the Mason District. His Bachelor's of Science in Education is from Bowling Green State University with minors in History and Geography, Master's of Divinity from United Theological Seminary. He is particularly proud of successfully switching careers after 10 years in the ministry. Congratulations.
Well, good evening. It's also an honor to be here with you tonight. I have to be honest and share with you that I was a problem child. I had a lot of trauma in my childhood, and we've since learned that trauma plays out in a lot of different ways. I tried to deal with that trauma as best as I could, and a lot of times I was a teacher's worst nightmare. I had a lot of charm, and yet I had a terrible time knowing where the boundaries were, where to stop. And so I spent a lot of time in the principal's office. But I had agents of care along the way who were willing to be patient with me and saw through some of my obnoxious activities. And I had teachers along the way. There were coaches along the way. A childhood friend who would later become a high school sweetheart, who is here tonight and has been my wife for almost 28 years, I believe. Long time. But I wouldn't be here tonight were it not for those agents of care. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be alive. But thankfully, they reached out. They were patient with me. They cared for me. And because of that, I'm not only here, but I'm here and now in a career where I get to be that agent of care for my students. It's my why, my passion is that I might help my students feel seen, heard, and celebrated whenever I'm with them. So whether they're in my classroom or whether I'm in the hallway yelling at them, cheering them on, being crazy, that they feel like they are a part of what's going on, that they are valued. And that's my why. And that's what keeps me going every day. Thank you for this honor tonight.
The Worthington Custom Plastics Award goes to Kristen Lazuda, who is the 3rd grade teacher at Mason Elementary. This is her 19th year teaching, the last 16 in the Mason District. She has a Bachelor of Science in Education from the University of Dayton and a Master of Arts in Teaching from Miami University. She currently holds a Senior Professional Education license and has been designated as a Master Teacher through the Ohio Master Teacher Program. She is very proud of the strong relationships she is able to nurture and hold with her students and their families. She endeavors to foster trust, empathy, and kindness always, thus creating a powerful bond that leads to a nurturing environment and successful outcomes.
Thank you. Hello. Okay, this is amazing. So it was National Unicorn Day. And it's amazing. My very wonderful principal who's here tonight, Javaris Powell, we were celebrating National Unicorn Day. So we were dressed as unicorns this day. And Arla said, "Do you want me to come back later and take a different picture of you?" And I said, "Nope, this is pretty much me." So there it is with my unicorn horn on. I wanted to share with you just how things have changed since I started teaching. 19 years ago, I began, and things looked a little different. I've certainly seen a lot of changes in education over time. Chalkboards and overhead projectors have been replaced by smart boards and clever touchpads. Instead of sharing desktop computers in the classroom, students now carry their own Chromebooks.
The curriculum has changed as well, and I've watched the educational philosophy and policy pendulum swing wide and then back again. Buildings, staff, technology, district structures and visions, they've all changed. Change is constant in education, and many say that children have changed too, that they are very different from the students of 2 decades ago. But I disagree. At the very root of it all, the remarkable children that I have the privilege to serve today are searching for the very same thing that they wanted and needed 20 years ago. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be valued, and they want to be loved. And you've heard these words several times tonight. We do what we do because we know this, and we are staunchly committed to making it happen for our students. We are for kids. We are their champions, their advocates, their fierce defenders, their counselors, their cheerleaders, and their biggest fans. And if you are in the primary grades, then you are also a nurse, a shoe tire, a huge hug giver, a unicorn horn wearer, a hurt feeling healer, a friendship mender, and sometimes even a tissue holder, except not in the time of COVID, of course. I will always teach. I believe in public education. We have a most noble and important charge, empowering children, seeing them, hearing them, valuing their voices, and helping them realize the amazing impact that they are here to make, and wearing unicorn horns whenever possible. Thank you so much. And I also want to say, just really quickly, I know I'm not supposed to say thank you, but I want to say thank you to my darling husband because we had our wedding reception in this very room. So it is just feeling like coming home here to the Manor House tonight. So thank you very, very much.
Moving along to Springboro Community City Schools. Serving in the selection committee were Tyler Tepe, VP of Commercial Lending at LCNB. National Bank was the representative for the APC, and Larry Hook, Superintendent, and Vicki Sweeney, Director at Springboro Public Library, serving as citizen at large. Peter A. Burwald is the recipient of the Pioneer Industrial Components Incorporated Award. He is the art instructor at Springboro High School. He has been teaching for 30 years, the last 19 in the Springboro district. His BA is in art from the University of Massachusetts. His Bachelor of Fine Arts is also from the University of Massachusetts. He has a master's in art illustration from Syracuse University. He is proud of having his artwork selected to grace the cover of the Ohio Education Association magazine cover three times. They hired him to do the art for them 2 more times, and he loves seeing his work in print.
Thank you. Thank you. I was told to prepare something relatively short, so I thought I would just throw together a little poem here. It should surprise no one that I've often related to high school kids who are unmotivated. He has so much potential, my teachers would say, because I often frittered my school days away. I remember the shock several years later when my friends heard I'd become an educator. You gotta be kidding, when did this start? The only thing you were good at was recess and art. It's been 30 years now, teaching art in high school. I feel very blessed having a job, that's so cool. Over 10,000 students, and I've never been bored, and now I'm graced with this prestigious award. I'm lucky and humbled for this opportunity, and proud to represent the Springboro community. So to all the students, families, friends, and peers, I offer my most sincere toast, y'all. Cheers.
Mrs. Rebecca Flutie has been teaching for 15 years, all in the Springboro District. She is a first grade teacher at Clear Creek Elementary. For her undergraduate work, she attended Franklin College in Indiana for her degree in elementary education, pre-K through third grade. She graduated from Miami University with a master's degree in reading education. She is proud to have taught nearly 375 students to read. In first grade, she is responsible for laying the foundation for students to become successful readers. If a child learns to read, they can become a lifelong learner. To quote Margaret Fuller, "Today, a reader, tomorrow, a leader."
I'm going to disappoint Walt because I don't intend on crying up here, just intend on making it through this with the nerves that we have going on. So I wish I could stand up here and tell you that I've always dreamed of being a teacher, and I set up my bedroom with my dolls and my stuffed animals, and I played school like I see so many of my students doing during inside recess. However, I honestly didn't really know what I wanted to be leaving for college. My mom was a nurse and my father was a teacher, and they both encouraged me and thought I could succeed in education. I wasn't sure I believed them, and we all know how much teenagers love to listen to their parents' advice. I didn't take their advice when it came to student loans and a private college education. However, I did listen to them and I became a teacher, and I guess parents really do know best sometimes. I'm so thankful to have the job to go to every day that I love. There's never a dull moment in the land of first grade. Little kids say and do the funniest things. Nothing in college can ever prepare you for the things that we see and hear on the daily, like kids stuffing pizza into their jeans pockets because they want to save a little bit for later, or a little girl coming to you crying because she's lost her imaginary pet tiger, and you have to avert that crisis right away and find the leash of her said lost tiger and hand it to her, and crisis averted. Everything's all better. In all seriousness, I love making an impact on my students every day in the most impressionable years of their lives. And like another first grade teacher said, it's so much fun to have them come back and see you at different places throughout the community and tell you things that they remember from first grade, especially when they're graduating or in college now. So I'm truly humbled that I was nominated and chosen for this award, and thank you.
The Wayne Local School District Selection Committee was comprised of Jonathan Sams, partner with Sams Fisher LLC, Area Progress Council representative, Superintendent Pat Dubs, and Kelly Maloney, Mary L. Cook Library, serving as citizen at large. The Samuel D. Henkel and Nellie W. Henkel Award is presented to Patrick William Harden, Advanced Placement Biology, Anatomy, Honors Biology 2, and Marine AP Biology instructor at Waynesville High School. He has 21 years of experience teaching all in the Wayne District. His Bachelor's of Science in Biology is from Milligan College. His Master's of Arts in Teaching Biological Sciences is from Miami University. He is proud to have made the best of year 2020 to put his family on a better path. This is the second time Mr. Harden has been selected for this award. The first time was in 2012. Congratulations.
In August, after a summer of rest, I'm ready for the adventure of a new year. So teaching is almost like I am Indiana Jones. I've done my research, I've planned, and the school year starts. I maneuver my way through booby traps, and in sight is that golden statue of my plans. And I reach out to grab it, all excited. It's the beginning of the year. And then suddenly, everything starts shaking, and ominous sounds start happening. I start getting more emails. I have more papers to grade, and I have a messy lab. Don't say anything, Sam. And so this gigantic ball starts rolling toward me, this big boulder, just like Indiana Jones. And I am on the run, And that's what it's like the whole year long. And so all those things keep piling up and new things keep coming. By the end of the year, I feel less like Indiana Jones and more like an old, gravelly Bilbo Baggins from The Lord of the Rings. And it really is appropriate when he said, I feel thin, sort of stretched like butter scraped over too much bread. And I know all the teachers know how that feels like this time of year. So in May, I'm Bilbo Baggins. But the treasure I was reaching for, and the treasure that's important, is not my plans and all the things that I wanted to do and all the things I'm excited about over the summer. The treasure, the spark of interest that I see in my students' eyes when they do labs. The treasure is a letter that I get from a student that's saying thank you for everything that I do and how I prepared them. The treasure is an email or a note from a parent, again, thanking the impact that I've had on their child's life. The treasure is a student that I am inspired by and I look at and I want to change because I see such awesome students. The treasure is, you saw the picture earlier, the treasure is when I see students inspired by the natural world, swimming in the ocean. And so that inspires me. I have the opportunity to take students to the Bahamas for a week because I teach marine biology. It's an awesome adventure and so much learning in such a short time, and it's a life-changing event. And lastly, the treasure is having a wife and a family. The treasure is a community of parents, an administration, fellow teachers, and a staff of believers in that treasure. We don't always agree on how all that is going to work down and all the education works, but we all know that that treasure is worth it. And so that's why I'm a teacher. Thank you.
Nancy Luke Savage teaches 6th and 7th grade English language arts at Waynesville Middle School. She's been teaching for 8 years and with the Wayne District for the last 3 years. Her Bachelor of Science in Middle Childhood Education, Social Studies, and English Language Arts is from North Carolina State University. She earned her Master of Education in Principalship from Wright State University. She was extremely proud that she survived her first year of being a mother and raising her daughter. Congratulations.
Why am I a teacher? Like most educators, I teach because I want to make a difference. I want to be a positive person in my students' lives. I want to help them on their journeys to figuring out who they are and what purpose and path they want to have in life. I want to help them find a love for reading, writing, and lifelong learning. A couple of years ago, one of my students wrote me a letter. In it, she writes, "I'm so thankful that you see me as a student with potential, not just some strange kid. I enjoy showing you my stories and poems because I like hearing your opinions. They give me confidence when I start to doubt everything within myself. You don't judge me or question my expression. You have encouraged me to follow my passions, chased after my dreams, and you are always there when I need help. These words are why I teach and will continue to teach for years to come. I'm not sure that my students fully realize how much they have shaped and impacted my life. They have taught me patience, perseverance, and kindness, and have truly made my heart so full these past 8 years. Thank you."
Now we have Warren County Career Center. Members of the selection committee were APC Representative Richard Jones, Superintendent Rick Smith, and Citizen at Large John Wonderly. Ms. Levetra Staten is the cosmetology instructor at the Career Center. She has been teaching for 20 years, the past 12 at WCCC. She has a diploma from Miami Valley Career and Technology Studies. Her certification and licensure in Career Tech program is from Wright State University, and she has taken her higher education and career Tech courses at Central State University. She is very proud that she has raised, nurtured, and loved two capable, confident, and caring young women who proudly occupy their space in the world and do so with grace, humility, and respect for themselves and for others.
Hi. Okay, on receiving this award, it was very humbling and exciting for me. I'm very passionate about what I do. Because I can share cosmetology with students, and when they come in my classroom, I have been just where they're at when they first get there. I was a career tech student in cosmetology, so when they get there, I know exactly how they feel. It's so rewarding to see my students in the area salons all over Warren County and Cincinnati, just different areas. So I'm blessed in that I can see my fruit, basically. But I couldn't do none of this if I didn't have the staff at Warren County Career Center, my immediate principal, Ms. Gates, and Mr. Smith, because any wild thing that I come up with, they usually give me the okay to do it. But thanks everybody who had something to do with this. I appreciate it, and thank you.
Cheyenne?
Yes, yes.
We were just discussing that my haircut today was one of her students. So. Warren County Educational Service Center. Members of the selection committee were Bill Thornton, Area Progress Council Representative, Tom Isaacs, Superintendent, and Walt Davis, Citizen at Large. Sue Sigler is an educator at WCESC Hampton Bennett Early Childhood Care in Franklin. She has been teaching 33 years, the last 10 with ESC, working in the preschool children's program. Her bachelor's in elementary education is from Ohio State University. She also has a master's degree in special education, early education of the handicapped, endorsement from Ohio State University. She is proud that she has raised two loving and caring daughters who share her passion of giving back to society by teaching and volunteering. This is the second time Sue has been chosen for this recognition. The first time was in 2011. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. One of my greatest accomplishments occurred when I began teaching preschool at Hampton Bennett 10 years ago. I had just started to use a new preschool curriculum, the Reggio Emilia approach, which is based on project learning at my last site in Lebanon. So I arrived at Hampton Bennett unsure of what the children and parents how they would react to this method of teaching. After the first few weeks of school, I thought, okay, let's see what'll happen. I sat down in the circle and explained to the children that we were going to find out what they wanted to learn about in preschool, and I gave them a few examples. One little girl raised her hand and said, I like music. Wow, that was music to my ears. After a month of hands-on activities, the preschoolers put on a musical show for the other preschool class with homemade instruments, a stage with light bulbs that they colored, and they sang songs. They made a classroom music book for the room. What a great first project, and that had the parents involved throughout the project. Of course, there's no I in team, and this preschool team of teaching assistants, specialists, administrators at the ESC and Franklin City Schools, and my loving husband, Alan, have led to many more great projects that we have completed since then. I want to also thank the Area Progress Council of Warren County for this wonderful evening. Thank you.
Now we have the Carlisle Local School District. The selection committee for Carlisle Local School District was Bobby Grice, Little Miami Chamber and APC representative, Larry Hook, superintendent, and Stephanie Spatz, Associate Vice President and Branch Manager at People's Bank, serving as citizen at large. Jill French teaches math at Carlisle High School. She has been teaching 17 years, all in the Carlisle district. She attended Miami University to earn her bachelor's degree in system analysis. She went on to get her master's in teaching from there as well. She earned her National Board for Professional Teaching Standards certification. She is currently working on a master's in school counseling through Wesleyan University. She is proud of her advanced placement calculus class during the 2019-2020 school year. She had 3 out of 5 students take the AP exam from home during a global pandemic, and all 3 earned a score of 5, the highest score possible. Thank you. Congratulations.
Just this week, I got a text from a junior about how much she appreciates me as a teacher. I loved it and planned to talk about it here tonight. But because of my day today, I decided to rework what I was going to say on the car ride over. So just today, I broke up a fight between 2 16-year-old boys that I don't know personally. High school teachers, I'm sure you can relate. This is not unusual, but this is something that happens. It wasn't an easy fight to break up, and at one point I just yelled for help. Immediately, I had 2 of my 18-year-old seniors there helping. They aren't my A students or the ones who participate in class the most. More than likely, they would never send me a text telling me that I'm a great teacher. But their willingness to step in and help me in a tough situation spoke words of appreciation that they didn't have to. The level of respect that they showed me and our school was so encouraging. But even better than that was writing home to tell their parents how proud I was of them. The good that I saw in those 2 young men overshadowed the fight. This is why I love what I do. There are hard things every single day. But being able to find and share the good news about teenagers is just so rewarding. Thank you.
Audrey Winkler teaches 8th grade social studies at Carlisle Junior High School. She has taught all of her 17-year career in the Carlisle district. She received her Bachelor of Arts in Social Science and her Master's of Education with 7 through 12 Integrated Social Studies licensure from Wright State University. Her K through 12 Special Education certification license is from Miami University. A success she is most proud of are her 2 children, Luke and Lane. They are growing into caring, respectful, hardworking kids who amaze her every day with their big hearts and quick-witted responses. Each day that goes by, she is blessed to be their mom. Congratulations.
Thank you. For as long as I can remember, I have wanted to be a teacher. My parents were both teachers, and I loved when they brought home extra worksheets or real spiral-bound grade books for me to use so I could play school with my dolls. I have always loved every part about school. I'm still obsessed with back-to-school supplies, to which my husband jokes that must be a teacher thing because there's nothing exciting about school supplies. I wanted to be a teacher to give my students the same experiences that I loved so much about school. When I began my student teaching, I knew I had picked the right profession because of how much I enjoyed making connections with all of the kids. I love that every day I get to go to work and I get to make a child smile and hopefully laugh, which can be pretty hard to do when you teach middle schoolers. To me, I don't feel like teaching is a job because every day I get to wake up and do something I love. Thank you.
Now to the Franklin City Schools. The selection committee for Franklin consisted of APC representative Steve Rode, President of McGill Smith Puncheon, Inc., Superintendent Dr. Michael Sander, and Citizen at Large Martha Bush, Director of the Franklin Public Library. Mrs. Carrie Elsey works with Tier 3 multiple disabilities children, grade 3 through 5, at Gerke Elementary. She's been teaching for 15 years and the last 7 in Franklin. Her Bachelor of Arts in Special Education is from Arizona State University, and she has a Master's of Education in Educational Leadership and Supervision, also from Arizona State University. She additionally has a Master plus 30 from Walden University, University of Akron, and University of Dayton. She holds an Orton Gillingham certification, and she is certified instructor and associate for the Crisis Prevention Institute. She states she cherishes the relationships she is able to build with both students and their families, helping families see their children succeed. She is fortunate to have many of her students for multiple years, giving her the opportunity to see the tremendous strides in their academic and social and emotional skills. Recently, one of her students made the transition into a mainstream classroom for the majority of his day.
Never talked into a mic before. First, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming here tonight to support such a meaningful award, particularly in this year. I think all of us here appreciate being seen, particularly given the needs of our students during COVID and being able to still provide them that safe place and that home that they needed from us. I feel like I started this journey in education a lifetime ago and a world away in Phoenix. It led me all over the country with my husband as we started our family. I took a break for about 10 years to raise our own 3 children, and I want to just say how thankful I am to Franklin for giving me the opportunity to get back into teaching. I truly love teaching. When I was home with my kids, I found myself volunteering nearly every day at their elementary schools and shortly found myself doing intervention groups in the hallway for free. Eventually, my husband suggested it might be time to get back to work. And as a wildcat, I am very fortunate to work with an amazing group of colleagues. To be honest, I go to work expecting there will be tough days. It's just the nature of what I do with the kids that I work with. And my administrators sitting right there will tell you there's been plenty of those days lately. But it feels good knowing that I work towards a worthwhile goal and that with the support of my team, my paraprofessionals, my amazing administrators, my therapists, parents, the gen ed teachers, we're able to help at least one of these children make a breakthrough. And we carry these breakthroughs in all of our hearts. Lastly, I know, like we said, we were not supposed to thank people, but I do want to thank my family, my husband, my father, who are here, for listening to those stories that I bring home. Because as we all know, this is not just a job, and we carry these stories with us and these children with us in everything that we do. Thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Zachary Catris teaches Advanced Placement, U.S. Government and Politics, U.S. Government and Sociology to grades 11 and 12 in high school. He has been teaching for 11 years, the last 7 in the Franklin District. He received his Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Philosophy from John Carroll University and his MA in the Curriculum and Instruction, GC Gifted Intervention, GC Educational Leadership are from University of Cincinnati. His proudest success and greatest accomplishment will always be that of becoming a father to 2 amazing children. But professionally, his greatest successes are handshakes and thank yous his students offer at the end of each school year. He states, "Nothing in education is worth as much as your students acknowledging your hard work, appreciating the effort you have put forth for them, and thank you for being a positive influence in their lives."
Good evening. I became an educator for a lofty reason, a conclusion I had come to in my young adulthood that all the major issues facing our country and those around the world could be resolved by improving and expanding public education systems. But pageant dreams aside, I thought if I were a teacher, I could be one small part of that goal, at least in my classroom. As each year begins and ends, I review my why and contemplate how best to impact those students I have the pleasure of working with. I realize that beyond improving on my mistakes or managing my relationships, I enjoy giving my community's children the opportunity to learn. I enjoy interacting with students, picking their brains, making them solve problems, and asking them to do it again the next day, and the day after that, and so on. I enjoy the lifelong pursuit of learning, whose only goal is that of making each of us a little better and the world a little kinder. I believe education is an amazing cause, and I am both proud and humbled to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you, and let us eat now, please.
The Warren County business community is very grateful for the 19 teachers we just met. These men and women are inspiring our future leaders with dedication and vision, preparing them for the future and ours with information and then testing their proficiency. Remember, Project Excellence is a nonprofit 501c3 foundation made possible by the volunteer efforts of visionary business leaders who are interested in the quality of public education in Warren County, Ohio. It is funded solely through the generous contributions of supportive Warren County individuals, industries, and businesses. Thank you to this evening's sponsors. Tim Abbott, trophy sponsor. Bunnell Hill Construction, Walt and Amy Davis, GMI Companies, Bobby Grice, Maggie Hess, Richard Jones, LC&B National Bank, Laura and Sam Lobar, the Manor House, Nancy and Ken Natorp, Matt Nolan Family, Otterbein Senior Lifestyles, People's Bank, George Sahi, Shakerland Farms, Sinclair College and Mason, Warren County Foundation, West Banco, and John Wonderly Architectural Woodworking. Their generous financial contributions have helped to make this a very special evening. And we are thankful for the involvement and support of each school district. Also, the Area Progress Council of Warren County, Incorporated, Board of Directors, and the Project Excellence Advisory Board wish to thank all of the contributors who've made the Project Excellence Foundation possible. We are eternally grateful to the endowment donors listed in the program. Without them, none of this would be possible. Special appreciation to the following: Melissa Knepp of Knepp Photographic for the portraits, flowers from the rafters for the corsages and boutonnieres, Brickhouse Engraving and Design Studio for the trophies, Minuteman Press Lebanon for the programs, and William A. Natorp Company for stage decorations. Remember, you can nominate an educator anytime throughout the year. Just go to the APC website and search the menu for Project Excellence. And now, the most important words of the evening: dinner is ready. Please enjoy your meal.